So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do a maintenance, a regular servicing on my this China Made Outboard motor. This is a Hangkai 3.5 horsepower 2-stroke engine. This kind of engine tends to be noisy. I'll be taking out the propeller here. I'll replace the gear oil inside here. I may strip off this thing here to check the water repellent. I will open up the housing. I might need to change the spark plug inside. I'll check on the fuel pipe. For this Hangkai 3.5, the emergency switch, which is that anything happen, you can kill off the engine by just pressing this button. They built it here, which is quite, I would say, it's quite inconvenient. Just imagine that you'll be sitting over at this side, controlling the motor. If you want to kill the engine, you need to stretch your hand a little bit over to here, kill the engine. I was thinking that I might want to shift this button to the throttle handle here. Right? You can just extend the wire out from here, all the way, put it onto here. First of all, we have to release the clip here. Okay, here you go. So first of all, we need to remove this clip. Then we lift up the propeller. So the next thing is that you will need the Allen key. And I have a small bag of tools here. This Skippy bag, peanut butter bag. I place some of the commonly used tools when I'm out at sea or something like that. Any emergency, I might be able to do something with this. So right now, I'll need the Allen key to open up this gear cover. Oh, sorry, before that, you have to remove the pin, the propeller pin. Okay, so we use a spanner to open up the nut. Okay, we need a container for the used oil or dirty oil. Always standing by the cloth when you're doing dirty works, oily works. Okay. This two nuts here. You need a screwdriver. Yep. So over here, there's a gap here, which you can push your screwdriver inside and just flip this thing up. Right? You can see, right? This side. Over this side here. Side by side. Slowly. Yep. You know. Right now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour out the oil by tilt the shaft that. Okay, we'll leave it drip. In the meantime, just do a little bit cleaning up onto the cover here by using the RP7. This is something like it's the same as W40, but it's cheaper. So I just spray onto the rubber seal here. Oh, hang on. No. You shouldn't use this one. Instead, WD-40 will spoil the rubber seal. So we don't do that. Just use a cotton bud to just clean it up. So for this part here, as in that the W40 might spoil the rubber, it become hardened or something like that. So never use WD-40 onto the oil seal. I use a toothbrush and some detergent, or any kind of detergent will do, and I just clean the rubber seal here, just as we can see now. It's been cleaned up. Some people might say that you need to do some polishing onto this part here, but my advice is that try not to do that. From my experience, if you do it regularly, over the time the sheen here might get thinner, will make this thing loosen, and when this thing is loosened, might give you some vibration. It will affect the performance of the motor. What you need to do is just maybe put some lubricant, put some oil, that's all. Okay, so we'll leave it dry. Okay, for now the gear oil is almost dry already. The inside is still quite dirty. Now we're using the WD-40, so we just spray inside the gearbox. So you might need to cover up just in case. Yep. Just like that. Clean up the dirt. And then we pour it away. All the dirt's away. To ensure more color cleaning, just yep, just like that. Let it drip. For the meantime, you want to get the cotton bud to help a little bit by rubbing the dirt away, as you can see. Alright. So now what I'm going to do is that for this one here, there's a lot of corrosion. First of all, we use some WD-40, the so-called cleaner. Just clean it slightly, clean it away. Alright. And then we're using the Autosol to the metal polisher. Just apply some onto the shaft. This is different from the brushing that I mentioned just now. Because this piece basically is a stainless steel, so you can do some polishing of this. Right. Just continue up. Anyway, this is a cheap model, so I'm using a cheap gear oil. It's from BHP. So before I top up the new gear oil, I'll just pour a little bit. Into this thing here. Alright, we'll give it a few spin. As you can see, the oil is clean. It's very, very clean. And so they're good to go. So, just keep the steam back. Clean out a little bit. So just apply some heavy duty grease onto the copper shim here, and a little bit onto the this oil seal. Right, now stopping up the new oil. Topping up all the way to the edge here, which cover up both gear. So I top up the gearbox oil already. Wipe it clean. So right now, we're going to push back. We need some gentle knock. Alright. Then using the screw. By one, slowly. We don't tighten the screw at one time. We should do this until this is tightened. Then we do the other side. And then we go to the other side again. Until this is tight. Then we go to the other side again. Spin a few turns. And then it's tight. Turn this side. This is to ensure this thing is going down in a straight manner in order not to damage the oil seal. So, yep, that'll be enough. So here you go. New gear oil inside the gearbox. There's some damage on the propeller, but should be alright. The pin, put it back, slot it back. Then the propeller. Make sure the pin is seated into the groove. lastly, the lock pin. Screwdriver, spread open it, spread it out, use a plier, just open it, yeah, that's all. So here we go, the first step of my servicing. So the next step, I'll be going into the engine itself. I should be taking out the casing, and I will check inside, see if there's any dust or dirt that needs to be cleaned up. As you can see, the gearbox oil was very dirty. So this is why you need to do some servicing. Alright,